Following the MLB trade deadline this last Thursday, the Astros' odds to win the AL moved up dramatically, so let's talk about it. It honestly is a little weird that this deadline alone moved our odds this much, especially noting that the Astros' biggest need was pitching, and they didn't add that at all, but there's a better reason for that. After yet another Astros injury to third baseman Isak Paredes, the Astros needed a third baseman, and that's exactly what they went and did by acquiring Carlos Correa from the Twins for basically nothing and having a cool moment getting him back into Houston, where we drafted him in the first round in 2012. And this move alone would boost the Astros ahead of every other American League team and become the leading odds favorite to win the AL pennant and go to the World Series again in 2025 with some of their brand new roster pieces. But I want to hear from y'all. Do y'all think that the Astros can get to the World Series again this season?
The Yankees made some big moves for their bullpen at the deadline, but it's already gone wrong, so let's get into it. At this year's trade deadline, the Yankees went out and traded for David Bednar, the Pirates closer, Camilo Doval, the Giants closer, and Jake Bird, a guy who once was incredible and could still have it in him. But in yesterday's Marlins game, all three of those guys failed in their Yankees debut. It all started in the 7th inning, where Jake Bird would come in and give up a grand slam to Kyle Stowers, making this a one-run game for the Yankees. And David Bednar would come in that same inning and give up a solo shot of his own to tie the game up for the Marlins at 9. Camilo Doval would then come in the 9th inning with a chance to get a save in his Yankees debut when he had a 12-10 lead for the Yankees, and he would give up a game-tying single to right field that got under the fielder's glove, but we'll forget about that, and then a walk-off, and the Marlins would win this one 13-12 in a crazy comeback win. It was a pretty crazy game over in Miami. The new Yankees bullpen looked terrible yesterday, and I want to know if y'all think they will pick it up. Let me know. Nationals versus Phillies on opening day was an awesome game, so let's get into it. Mackenzie Gore absolutely diced today, making Phillies hitters look silly. It totally had nothing to do with the shadows, but Gore would have 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, and 13 strikeouts. This has only happened one other time, by Bob Gibson. Gore was on one. But because of Mackenzie Gore and Zach Wheeler, this game was quiet until the 5th inning when, after an 11-pitch at-bat, Kyber Ruiz would launch a ball to make this game 1-0 Nationals advantage. In the 7th inning, against a new pitcher, the Phillies would finally have life because Bryce Harper would hammer a baseball in his old stomping grounds to tie this game up at 1. But they weren't done there because Kyle Schwarber would come up and do the same exact thing, making this a 2-1 baseball game. But in the bottom of the 8th, down 3-1, the Nationals would start a little bit of a rally with runners on 2nd and 3rd. CJ Abrams would hit in a guy to make it 3-2. Then Luis Garcia Jr. would tie the game with a blooper to center field. It's 3-3 now. We would find ourselves in extra innings, and with runners on 1st and 3rd, Bohm would laser a double into the gap to give the Phillies a 5-3 lead. But that wasn't it, because then first pitch swinging Real Muto would bang a triple and make this a 7-3 game. The Phillies would go on to win this one, and they start the season off 1-0. What do y'all think? Let me know. The Marlins have been shocking the world to start the season, and they did it again yesterday. The Pirates would actually strike first in the 2nd with a Kutch bomb to left to give the Pirates a 1-0 lead early in this one. The Marlins wouldn't let that lead last long though, because after a Jonah Bride walk, Nick Fortes would hit a double to left to drive him in and knot this game up at 1. Moving all the way to the 5th though, after an Indy Rodriguez walk, IKF, Yankees legend, would single him in to make this a 2-1 Pirates lead, and they take the lead back. The hero from the other night though, Griffin Conine, would come up and hit a tank in the 8th inning to tie this game up at 2. What a game. We'd find ourselves in the bottom of the 9th inning, tied 2-2. After a Derek Hill single, the winning run would be on base. Hill would make his way to 2nd and then 3rd, and on a 2-1 count, David Bednar would throw a wild pitch, and the Marlins would win this game on a wild pitch walk-off. The Marlins are currently 3-1 on the season and atop the NL East. Is this a good team? Let me know. Wilyer Abreu had a legacy game yesterday, but before I tell you how, let's talk about how this game went. This game was moving relatively slow until the bottom of the second, where after a Jake Berger walk and a Josh Young single, Kevin Pillar would laser a single to make this game 1-0 Rangers. But the Red Sox would answer right back, cause after back-to-back singles, Rafaela would drive in a run to tie this game up at 1. In the 4th inning though, after a Kevin Pillar single, Kyle Higashioka would rocket a 414-foot, 105-mile-per-hour double to drive Kevin Pillar in and take the lead for the Rangers right back. But this is where the GOAT, Wilyer Abreu, comes in and makes the legacy. He would rocket a 415-foot, 108.7-mile-an-hour bomb to tie this game up at 2 for the Red Sox. Wilyer Abreu was not done there though, because in the 9th inning, after a walk and a single, Wilyer Abreu would come up and destroy a hanging slider to give the Red Sox a 5-2 lead in the 9th inning and make Wilyer Abreu the coolest dude in Dallas for the day. Absolute cinema. Is this Red Sox team legit? They're 1-0 now. Y'all let me know. This Cubs player hit for the cycle last night, and you would not guess who it was. To begin, the Cubs were playing the A's in Sacramento for the first ever game there, and they absolutely demolished them. Tucker went 4 for 7, Sayal went 2 for 5, Bush went 3 for 6, Dansby went 2 for 5, Horner went 3 for 4, Carson Kelly went 4 for 4, and the final score was 18-3. The cycle would come from Carson Kelly. He'd get his first part of the cycle in the 4th when he would hit a bomb to left to make it 5-1 Cubs. The next part of it would come in the 5th inning, and he'd hit a bases loaded single to drive in 2 runs and make this a 7-3 game. He is halfway there. The third part of it would come in the 6th inning with 2 outs, and he would laser a double that could have been his second homer of the day, but not quite there. He's 75% done now. And finally, the last part of this cycle, he'd hit a triple to right field and finally get this cycle. This is the first cycle for the Cubs since May 9th, 1993. Insane. What do y'all think about this? Let me know. The Baltimore Orioles made history yesterday, so let's get into that. Tyler O'Neill, going into yesterday's game, already had history as he had homered on 5 straight opening days, but that streak would continue because with runners on first and second, he would hammer a 3-run bomb to make this 5-0 in the 3rd and extend his opening day homer streak to 6 straight opening days. But that's not all, because the face of the franchise, Adley Rutschman, has his own homer streak of 2 straight opening days, and in the 1st inning he would hammer a ball to right field at 436 feet to make this a 1-0 game in the 1st inning and make it 3 straight opening days that he has hit a homer for the Orioles. But there's one more opening day homer streak. Cedric Mullins hit a tank on the first pitch that he saw to make this game 6-0, but that wasn't all from Cedric, as he hit a 3-run bomb later in the game, and he has now homered on back-to-back opening days, and he also went 3 for 5 yesterday. The Orioles got off to a really good start to the season, winning this game 12-2 yesterday, and what do y'all think? In Cincinnati, opening day is a tradition, and the fans went crazy this season, so let's talk about the game. The Reds would get off to a fast start after an Elly De La Cruz walk and a Gavin Lux walk. Jeimer Candelario would hit a ball the other way to give the Reds a 1-0 lead. Hunter Green and Logan Webb were pitching great though, cause this game was quiet up until the bottom of the 3rd, where after a TJ Friedl single and an Elly De La Cruz single and a Gavin Lux single, Jeimer Candelario would come up with the bases loaded and hit another one the other way to make this game 3-0. But the Giants would answer right back. Young-Ho Lee would walk on 5 pitches, and then after an 11 pitch at bat, Heliot Ramos would crank a bomb to right field to make this a 1-run game. The game would go dry till the 9th inning, where Young-Ho Lee would walk and Matt Chapman would single, leading to a game-tying single from Patrick Bailey. But after, Wilmer Flores would hit a 3-run bomb to give the Giants a 6-3 lead and then go on to win this game. The Giants start the season 1-0, and they look like a pretty good team after today. What do y'all think though? Tigers vs Dodgers last night was electric, so let's check this game out. The day would start by the Dodgers getting these beautiful rings from their championship last season, and they looked awesome. The game though would pick up in the 2nd inning, where Dylan Dingler would hit a bomb to dead center field to put the Tigers up 1-0 early. The Tigers were not done there though, because the newly added Gleyber Torres would crank a bomb to left field to give the Tigers an early 2-0 lead. Yamamoto and Flaherty were pitching amazing today, because this game was quiet until the 6th inning, where we would see Freddie Freeman go into launch mode and tie this game up at 2 with a home run to left field. In the 8th inning, down 1 run, the man that's lost 25 pounds, Mookie Betts, would hit a game-tying bomb to tie this game up at 3. But here comes the drama, because in the 9th inning, after a Trey Sweeney single and with clutch in his veins, Manuel Margot would hit a game-tying single to tie it at 3. And now going to extras, we'd find ourselves in the 10th, where with runners on 1st and 3rd, Dylan Dingler would sneak this ball past Conforto and drive in 2 runs to give them a 5-3 lead. In the bottom of the 10th though, Conforto would slap a ground rule double the other way to make this a 1-run game. Will Smith would tie this game up at 5 with a single, then up would come Mookie Betts, and with clutch in his veins, he would hit a walk-off 3-run bomb to keep the Dodgers' undefeated season alive. There was lots of drama and lots of lead changes. What a Friday night baseball game. What did y'all